We are traveling for 2 months by bicycle in Namibia. By coincidence, we end up staying at Shamvura camp. We are here with Charlie from Shamvura camp. And Charlie is not only a guest house owner, she's also a nurse, community nurse,
yes,
and she knows a lot about the local art, and that is these baskets, wonderful baskets that are made. Charlie, can you tell us a little bit about how these baskets are made?
Okay,
how they do it.
They're made from the small fronds of Makalani palm. So when the Makalani palm's not very big, only about this big, it puts out every year 3 small leaves. And they cut that small leaf. The leaf is still closed, it's not opened.
Yeah.
And then they soak that in water and make it soft and cook it. They boil it up in water and cook it, and then they split it with like they have a nail that they've sharpened, which becomes a tool. And then that's woven around. Here in the Kavanga they use grass on the inside. They've got a fine grass that they have on the inside.
Yeah.
We do, if we know beforehand, we can take people to where the weavers are weaving upstream here, and then they show you how they do it. And then they take the palm and they dye it.
Yeah.
This, for example, is a Indigofera dye. I have a list of dyes.
Yeah.
This is Bikimia discolor that's then been put into something else to make it darker and black. I can't really see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Black. And this is Diospyros Camenthius.
Yeah.
So I have the whole list of the colors.
Yeah. And how they start from the inside?
Yes, they have a little piece of grass, and then they push the palm leaf through, and then in, and then out, and then in and out. It's almost like sewing.
Okay.
And then they make the basket.
And then and how do they make the mosaic?
Well, this would be she skipped instead of going. She's just done it in her weave. So she brings in the new palm leaf with the color.
Yeah.
And weaves it in, and then she continues with the other colors, and then weaves the color in, and then.
Yeah.
So she's got her different color leaves sticking out, and then she weaves the different colors in. I really need to film it for you and send you so that you can understand.
Yeah, if you can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
And I was very touched by this lady, the story that you told us last night.
Yes.
This lady, she heard that you are,
that I sometimes buy baskets.
That you buy baskets, and that through you she can sell them.
That's right. Her name is Ndumba Anastasia.
Yeah.
And she lives at a village about 5 to 6 kilometers downstream from us.
Yeah.
And she's not one of the group. I've worked for many years with the basket weavers west of us. And I've never really worked with the basket weavers to the east of us. And she also has associations with the Conservancy south of us, from a place called Levi. And there's some basket weavers there that I have worked with. So she's probably learned from the other weavers how to make the baskets. We have a tool that we call the 10 Commandments, which indicates a good quality basket.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of them, but it's a good start. So the start must be neat.
Yeah.
If you look at this one, this is not a good start. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's not a good start.
Okay, yeah.
That is a good start.
Ah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then it must stand. So it mustn't,
tip over.
It must stand. It's got to be a good shape.
Yeah.
It's got to be even like a tar road, like not corrugated. It's got to be even. The coils must be even. In other words, they start small and they get slightly bigger as they go to the bigger size basket, but not like have a big coil and a small coil and a big coil. It's got to have a good finish. You see, she's got a very good finish. The finish ends right.
Yeah.
You can't really see the finish. This one.
Yeah, here. I really had to look for it.
Yeah.
The finish, yes.
Maybe. This one is not a good finish.
Okay.
Yeah. You see there.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And this
it
is
has
very
to-
smooth.
It
yeah.
has to be a good design, and then when you get into the grading system, you go. It's all, the grading. The technical basket is a C or a B grade, technically good.
Yeah.
When you get to the patterns and the colors, that distinguishes them to what we would call an A and a double A basket.
Yeah.
And the double A basket is an expensive basket, but the double A is an exhibition quality basket.
Right.
It's a basket that you look at and you just go, wow, that's a
Yeah.
really beautiful basket.
Yeah.
So these are technically Bs,
Yeah.
and the design is good, but she's not the reason that it's a B is she's not very smooth.
Okay.
She could be smoother in her weave.
Okay.
She's got a little bit of unevenness in her weave, and you can see here there's a few little gaps
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah,
the weave.
Yeah, I see. And you gave her the feedback also
Yes,
on that?
I did speak to her about it. And then
Yes.
how we measure them is we measure them like this.
Yeah.
So we go for the amount of work that she's done. So this would be a 33. And then we have a price list with the C and B and A and double A.
Yeah.
So the C basket is less, the B basket is one price, the A is more, and double A is more money for the same size.
Yeah, I see.
So that we reward excellence, we reward the artistic talent.
Yeah.
So she came because it's a drought season this year. The crops failed because February we had failed rains, and craft makers often use their craft as an emergency income.
Ah, yeah.
When they can't sell their crops, or they can't make because they make a traditional beer, they can't sell their traditional beer because they didn't get enough mahanga. Then
Yeah.
they make baskets so they can earn a little bit of extra money.
Yeah.
So your craft and basket production goes up in droughts, and when it's good years, there's less production. But
Oh, yeah.
but the women are clever. How it works with the baskets, if we've got a market like we have with Omba Art Trust, they can sell every month something.
Yeah.
So every month they can get something for their baskets. It's not always a lot of money, but it's a money for them to reinvest. So they'll buy eggs, or get chickens, or
Yeah.
they make like fat cakes that they sell, and so they'll try and build on that money. And you actually can see the poverty in them reduce when you work with them. They start off, you can see that they're really struggling, and they're trapped in this poverty, and then as they make baskets and every month they get a bit of money, you
Yeah.
can see they dress a little bit better,
Okay.
they look healthier, and you can actually see that. in
Okay.
them. And then we use the craft as a venue. I use the craft as a venue to address health issues, nutrition,
Yeah.
cleanliness. Clean water is very important because everybody just uses the river, and you don't know what's happened upstream in the river that might affect your water today. Yesterday it might have been good, but today maybe something died upstream and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
waters
yeah.
are
Yeah, we know all about
contaminated.
it. Yeah.
And we talk about where to put the pit latrines. We do HIV awareness and testing, and that kind of thing. So that us, the nursing part of it comes out in when I deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So with buying those two, we help.
Well, yeah, she's going to get, for her baskets that she bought me, she's going to get 1,375 Namibian dollars. Now that's not really a lot of money, but for her, it's quite a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And she will use that money to try and make some other money.
Yeah. Some of
I
them.
found with working with men craft makers, they tend to spend the money. Go to town and buy things, and whereas the women tend to use that money to make more money, to
Yeah.
multiply it.
Yeah. Use a little bit and then the rest. Well, thank you so much for this interview. How much do we pay for these ones? You had the stickers on.
They're both 200.
Both 200.
So it's 400.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much,
It's a pleasure.
Charlie.